Hello, guys, and welcome. I'm going to take a quick step away from all the transfer talk that is going off at the moment, and I'm going to quickly talk about tonight's game, which kicks off in about 10 minutes' time, and that is the second leg of the Caraboa Cup between Newcastle and Southampton. Now, as it stands, Newcastle currently hold a 1-0 lead thanks to a Joe Linton goal in the first leg. Obviously, that was at St Mary's. Tonight, they are at St James's Park. I think this is going to be an interesting game. I do think Newcastle will win. I'm personally going for a 2-1 scoreline to Newcastle. I just think Southampton might get a goal. I do think Nick Pope's run of consecutive clean sheets is going to come to an end tonight. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling, but I still think Newcastle will take the win. Obviously a big game in contrast to both their seasons, really. Southampton fighting against relegation, but yeah, have a chance tonight to possibly, have a comeback and get into a final of a cup. And then you've got it on the other spectrum, Newcastle, who haven't been in the cup final for, I think it was the 90s last time they was in the cup final. To now then go on and potentially get in a final, or obviously fighting at the other end of the table and trying to compete for a Champions League place. Two very interesting stories. Obviously, Southampton have also signed two players. By the looks of it, in the transfer window, Newcastle have also signed. I think Newcastle have signed someone today. There's been that much going off. I'm just trying to keep up with it all. Obviously, you've seen two competitive teams. I do think Newcastle probably will look to dominate the game. You expect it to. When you look at two teams on different form, Southampton struggling at the bottom of the Prem. You've got Newcastle flying high in the top four. I think it is going to be an interesting one, to say the least, especially with Southampton, I think, really being desperate. I mean, you look at the last 7 games that they've had at Newcastle. The last time Southampton won was in 2015, was the last time they won at St James's Park. I think the last meeting here at St James's Park was last August last year. Not last year, year before, I think. Obviously was huge. Obviously, Anthony Gordon will also be presented to the fans as well. And the other new signing that they've just signed from West Ham, centre back for 3 million, coming in. I think that's obviously going to be a great thing for Newcastle to see. Obviously, Anthony Gordon's a huge signing. Do I think this game's going to be one-sided? No, because the first leg wasn't. The first leg wasn't at all, to be fair. Southampton quite easily have got a goal. Quite easily. Nick Pope made a couple of good saves in that game, and I think, you look at the two respective sides and you look at the two lineups. Obviously, Nick Pope's been absolutely immense in goal recently for Newcastle. I mean, he's on a great wave of form for a goalkeeper, especially. And at the beginning of the season, no one thought Newcastle would be this high up, but I think you put it in perspective. I think it would mean more to Southampton. I think with where they are in the table, and if they can get to a final, either against Nottingham Forest or not Manchester United. Manchester United are in probably the best position of any of the 4 teams left in the Carabao Cup with a 3-0 advantage. You can't really complain at that. But no, I think Southampton just have to go out there tonight and just pretty much show no fear. I mean, they've got nothing to lose, to be fair. I prefer it if a team goes all out and gets hammered, absolutely hammered 4-0. If they go out there and they show the effort, they've got to go at Newcastle. I can't think Don't let them just sit back. You know, they've obviously got people to worry about. You know, you think Miguel Almiron, who's on absolute great form at the moment for Newcastle. No, Joe Linton obviously getting the goal from the first leg, despite, you know, just before that, missing an absolute sitter. Armstrong having a goal disallowed for handball. It was one of the biggest talking points from the first leg, you know, which was a controversial handball. People didn't think it was. A lot of people in that game thought, you know, maybe it shouldn't have been an handball. Who knows? It was given as an handball. So Newcastle do go into this second leg 1-0. Obviously at St James's Park, you're going to obviously back Newcastle, especially the form this season, their home form as well. You're going to back them. Do you back Southampton on the road? No. But they have to give it a go. Do you know what I mean? You don't just sit back and just let Newcastle come at you. They've got to give it a go. Basically like what they did in the first leg. You know, what they did in the first leg, they took the game to Newcastle. They weren't afraid to take the game to Newcastle. I think we've seen it too many times from Southampton this season. Just sit back. You know, this is the first, you know, they've never won the EFL Cup, Newcastle. So this will be a great season for them. Obviously, if Manchester United get to the final, I want Manchester United to win as a Manchester United fan. You know, I think it's a tense one if you're talking about people who I think are going to stand out for both teams. I think Joe Linton, he got the goal in the first leg. He's turned into a magnificent midfielder under Eddie Howe. And I think obviously, you know, you can't look any further than the captain of Southampton for me, James Ward-Prowse. I think if they do get any free kicks in and around the area, he's always a threat. No, he's always a threat. So that would be one talking point for Newcastle would be, you know, don't try not to give too many fouls away near your penalty area. Callum Wilson is obviously going to be a big focal point. You know, you can't look past Bruno Guimaraes in midfield for Newcastle. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure he'll have a starring role to play in today's game. Now you look at Southampton, obviously people like Shea Adams. You know, he's got energy. He'll run at them. There's absolutely no question about that. You'd expect that from Shea Adams. But yeah, I think Joe Linton definitely keep an eye on him in that midfield, and you know, like he did for the goal against Southampton, coming in from absolutely nowhere to put the ball in the net was a big one. But I do think, you know, also James Ward-Prowse is definitely one to keep an eye on for Southampton. Like I said, just don't get any free kicks away, like anywhere within 30 yards of your box, because 9 times out of 10 he's going to have a go, and 9 times out of 10 it's usually close. He's a fantastic free kick taker, and no doubt, in my opinion, he'll end up breaking David Beckham's record of free kick goals in the Premier League. Obviously, the front three looks good again for them. Obviously, St. Maximin on the bench as well for Newcastle. So, you know, if you look at the stronger teams, you're obviously going to say Newcastle. You know, Southampton's in, well, I was saying in the Premier League, it's not exactly been the strongest all season long. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments down below. What do you think of this game? Are you going to be watching it? Who do you think will win? If you did enjoy, please leave a like and please subscribe for more videos like this. Anyway, guys, I'll see you soon.